Here is a text from Arabic into English. The source text is Arabic and it's into English, and it's from a book on translation which I found. The text says: الرحمة. سأكون في هذه المرة شاعرا بلا قافية ولا بحر، لأنني أريد أن أخاطب القلب وجها لوجه، ولا سبيل إلى ذلك إلا سبيل الشعر. سبيل الشعر. إن البذور تلقى في الأرض فلا تنبت إلا إذا حرث الحارث تربتها وجعل عاليها سافلها، كذلك القلب لا تبلغ منه العظة إلا إذا داخلته وتخللت أجزاءه وبلغت سويداءه، ولا محرث للقلب غير الشعر. أيها الرجل السعيد، كن رحيما، أشعر قلبك الرحمة ليكن قلبك الرحمة بعينها. ستقول إني غير سعيد، إني غير سعيد لأن بين جنبي قلبا يلم به من الهم ما يلمه بغيره من القلوب. أجل فليكن ذلك كذلك، ولكن أطعم الجائع واكس العارية وعز المحزونة وفرج كربة المكروب، ولا تعجب أن يأتيك النور من سواد الحلك أو الحلك، فالبدر لا يطلع إلا إذا شق رداء الليل، والفجر لا يدرج إلا من مهد الظلام. The English, the TT is mercy. This time I shall be a poet without using a rhyme or meter, because I wish to address the heart frankly, and the only possible way to do so is through poetry. When the seeds are thrown on the ground, they do not grow unless the farmer plows the land. Similarly, sermons cannot reach the heart unless they are firmly embedded in it. That is only possible through poetry. Happy man, be merciful, let your heart be mercy itself. You say, I am unhappy because my heart is more full of worries as other hearts. Well, let it be so, but feed the hungry, clothe the naked, console the sad, and relieve the distressed. You'll find that this is the best consolation to relieve you of your cares and worries. If you do this, do not be surprised to see light coming from pitch darkness, for the moon only rises if it pierces the darkness of the night. Dawn rises from the cradle of darkness. This is the actual script. Let me just analyze it and look at some of the elements or some of the features in it. Of course, this time I shall be a poet without using rhyme or meter, بلا قافية ولا بحر, because I wish to address the heart frankly. You can say frankly, you can say directly, you can say, you can address or speak to the heart as it were face to face, and the only possible way to do so is through poetry. That is beautifully written in English, but you can see now how it's a new paragraph. He's cutting the English into actually more than one paragraph, because it's in Arabic it's one paragraph, but in the English you can tell that it is 3 paragraphs. So that's one thing. The other thing is أخاطب القلب وجها لوجه. I address the heart frankly. I would say address the heart directly will be a good one, and the only possible way to do so is through poetry, which is great. بس طبعا لا سبيل إلى ذلك إلا سبيل الشعر. يعني he didn't repeat the word سبيل in the English. It's not unnecessary. It's unnecessary. The only possible way to do so is through poetry. That is beautifully written in English. Now, when we move on to the second part here, or second paragraph, إن البذور تلقى في الأرض فلا تنبت. When the seeds are thrown on the ground, they do not grow. We don't say the seeds. We say when seeds are scattered in a land, I wouldn't say ground, in a land, they wouldn't grow on their own unless a farmer plows that land properly. Of course he says unless إلا إذا حرث الحارث تربتها. Unless the farmer plows that land properly, or turning it inside out, or turning it upside down. وجعل عاليها سافلها, or topsy-turvy, made it topsy-turvy, or in other words turned it upside down. But I would say unless the farmer plows the soil of that land properly would be a better option. And then he says similarly, which is كذلك, يعني in a similar way, which is greatly selected in the English, in the target language. القلب لا تبلغ منه العظة. Sermons cannot reach the heart, they do not touch the heart, truly touch the heart, unless they went right through it. I would say تخللت أجزاءه, داخلته وتخللت أجزاءه, unless it's gone right through it and reached its center. وبلغت سويداءه, meaning the very, very as it were the target, سويداء, but what we don't want to say the target. بلغت سويداء until it reaches its center, and that is the center of the heart. ولا محراث للقلب غير الشعر, and it says here, and that is the only possible through poetry. And of course this is only possible through poetry, which is what we have actually done here. أيها الرجل السعيد, here is happy man, or oh happy man, you can use either. كن رحيما, be merciful. أشعر قلبك الرحمة, let your heart feel mercy. ليكن قلبك الرحمة بعينها, let your heart be mercy itself. So you see here we have a missing part, أشعر قلبك الرحمة, make it merciful or make it feel mercy. ستقول إنني غير سعيد, not you say, you would say I am unhappy or I am sad, أنا غير سعيد, لأن بين جنبي قلبا يلم به من الهم ما يلمه بغير من القلوب. Here, because my heart is filled with worries, so much so that than others, so much more than other hearts. So that would be a better kind of, instead of more full of worries. I would say fuller, but because more full is not the correct English. I would say my heart is filled with worries more so than other hearts are. أجل فليكن ذلك كذلك, well, let it be so. لكن أطعم الجائع, but do feed the hungry. I would say do feed, لكن do feed the hungry, but do feed the hungry. واكس العاري, clothe the naked. وعز المحزونة, condole the sad. وعز المحزونة, وفرج كربة المكروب, and relieve the distressed. Relieve the distress is good, out of their agony perhaps, or relieve them out of their, help them to come out of their agony perhaps. But فرج كربة المكروب, I think I like the word relieve the distressed. ولا تعجب أن يأتيك النور من سواد الحلك أو الحلك, from الحالك, يعني الحلك هو السواد, blackness or darkness. If you do this, don't be surprised to see light coming from pitch darkness. ولا تعجب أن يأتيك النور. And don't be surprised if you see light in the heart of darkness, I would say. فالبدر لا يطلع. فالبدر هنا, for the moon only rises if it pierces the darkness of the night. This is beautifully written actually, but I would say if the moon, if the whole moon, or يعني هو طبعا البدر, we can't say the full moon because the full moon has a negative, or it's not a nice positive feel to it, and that's why the word full moon is no good here to be translated for the word al-badr, because al-badr means when it is full moon. However, you can say the moon, as it says here. The moon will be perfectly fine. Rises only if it pierces the darkness of the night, which is great. طبعا هو إلا إذا شق رداء الليل. رداء الليل means unless it has torn the garment of the night. But of course you can't use this kind of imagery here. It's better to say, as it says, it pierces the pitch darkness or the darkness of the night, darkness of night. والفجر لا يدرج إلا من مهد الظلام. And here I would say, instead of dawn rises from the cradles of darkness, I would say, and the dawn breaks, and the dawn breaks from the cradle of darkness. Thank you.